The bar was loud that night, music thumping, laughter spilling over the clatter of glasses, but when her shirt tore, the entire place fell silent. No one moved. No one spoke. Even the man who had just grabbed her, the rough, leather-jacketed biker with tattoos crawling up his arms, stood frozen as if he'd just seen a ghost. The waitress, Emily, didn't scream. She didn't flinch. She simply stood there, clutching the torn fabric against her chest, her wide eyes filling with tears, not from shame, but from something much deeper, older. What was hidden beneath the fabric wasn't what anyone expected. And in that silence, everyone in the bar suddenly realized they'd been laughing at someone they didn't even know. It had all started 2 months earlier, when Emily had moved to the small town of Ridgefield with nothing but a duffel bag, a broken phone, and a quiet promise to herself: this time, no one would find out. She'd taken the late-night waitress job at a roadside bar, known for its rowdy bikers and cheap beer. Most girls wouldn't last a week there, but Emily didn't care about the noise or the looks. She just needed enough cash to pay for her little brother's surgery back in her hometown. She was small, soft-spoken, the kind of person people overlooked until she smiled. That smile had warmth, the kind that made even the coldest men pause for a second. But under her long sleeves and high-neck uniform, she had scars that told a story she never wanted to retell. That Friday night had been busier than usual. The Iron Fangs Biker Club had rolled in, led by a man named Cole Ryder, a tall, broad-shouldered rider with a deep voice and a temper to match. To most, he was trouble. But to those who knew him, he was a man still haunted by the life he'd tried to escape. Emily had served them their beers with her usual polite distance, ignoring the crude jokes and the teasing smirks. She'd learned to take words like bullets, quietly, without bleeding. But Cole noticed something different about her. When she spoke, she didn't tremble. When she looked at him, her eyes weren't scared. They were sad, but strong. Later that night, as a drunken argument broke out between two bikers near the counter, a bottle shattered, spraying glass and beer across the bar. Emily flinched as she tried to clean up the mess. One of the bikers reached for her sleeve, slurring something about how she should smile more. She pulled back, but in the chaos, Cole's hand accidentally caught her shirt, ripping it down the side. The laughter that followed was instant and cruel. Until they saw what lay beneath. A scar. Jagged and long, running from her shoulder down across her ribs. And just beneath it, the faded ink of a brand, an old burn mark that looked like a symbol. Cole froze. The bar fell quiet. He knew that marked IT was the mark of a trafficking gang he'd once been part of, years before he'd turned his life around. The same gang that had taken lives, destroyed families, and branded victims like property. Emily's hands shook as she tried to cover herself. "Please," she whispered, barely audible. "Don't tell anyone." Cole stepped back, his heart pounding. Who did that to you?" She didn't answer, just turned and fled toward the back door. But her silence spoke louder than words. From that night, Cole couldn't rest. He tried to drink it away, write it off, forget her face, but her eyes followed him. He had once worn that same brand on his jacket, not his skin. And now, fate had forced him to face the damage he'd helped create. The next day, Emily didn't show up for her shift. The bar felt colder, emptier. Cole found himself outside the manager's office, demanding to know where she lived. The manager, thinking he was trying to start trouble, told him to get lost. But Cole wasn't leaving without finding her. He rode across the outskirts of Ridgefield until he spotted her old car parked outside a worn-down motel. He knocked once, twice, no answer. When the door finally opened, Emily stood there, eyes red, clutching a small suitcase. "I'm leaving," she said. "You shouldn't have followed me." "I didn't mean to." "You didn't mean to rip my shirt?" she snapped, her voice trembling. "You didn't mean to make everyone see?" "I came here to disappear." Cole swallowed hard. "That mark on you, I know what it means." Her expression shifted, suspicion flickering behind her tears. "How?" "Because I used to ride with them." For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, quietly, "Then you're one of them." "I was," he admitted. "But I got out. I've been trying to make it right ever since." Emily turned away, gripping the handle of her suitcase. "You can't make it right. You don't know what they did to me. What they took." "I can try," he said. "Tell me who's still out there. I can stop them." She looked at him, then really looked. There was a darkness in her eyes, but also a flicker of something else. Hope, maybe. Or exhaustion. I'd been running for 5 years, she whispered. Every time I think I'm safe, someone finds me. That brand, they use it to track us. Cole's jaw tightened. Not anymore. That night, Cole gathered his old biker crew, the ones who'd turned clean, working odd jobs around town. They made a pact to protect her, not as outlaws, but as men seeking redemption. They set traps, watched for strange bikes, and waited days turn into weeks. Emily started smiling again, just a little. She even laughed once when Cole tried cooking for her and burned everything. But behind the laughter, fear still lingered. She knew the men who'd marked her would come. They always did, and one night, they did. Headlights cut through the darkness as 4 black bikes rolled into the motel's parking lot. The same insignia on their jackets, the one that had scarred her flesh. Cole stood outside, ready. She's not yours anymore, he said as the leader dismounted. She always will be, the man sneered. The fight was brutal. Chains, fists, fury. Cole took hits that would have dropped anyone else, but he kept standing. For her. For the years he couldn't undo. When it was over, the gang was gone and Emily was safe. Later, as dawn broke, she sat beside him on the motel steps, holding his bloodied hand. You didn't have to do that. Yeah, he murmured, looking out at the sunrise. I did. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, thank you, for seeing me. Cole smiled faintly. No one should ever have to hide their scars, Emily. Sometimes, they're just proof you survived. And that morning, for the first time in years, she didn't pull her sleeve down. She let the sun touch the mark she once hid, and in that moment, the girl who'd spent her life running finally stopped. The biker who had torn her shirt that night had done more than expose her pain. He had uncovered her strength. And together, they began to build something neither of them thought they deserved, peace, because sometimes, the most broken souls are the ones who find each other in the most unexpected places and heal what the world tried to destroy.